So the second method of doing this question, please note it down. Same question for type number 2. There is another method. This is type 2 where the time period is 2.5 years and interest is compounded yearly. So in order to find out the amount and the compound interest, the formula for amount is P into 1 plus R over 100 raised to the power n. For 2 years हम ये फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे और ये जो हाफ years है इसके लिए हम ये फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे. Two years separately, half years separately, these are all multiplied together. So your principal for this question was 18,000 in the brackets 1 plus. The rate of interest is 10 over 100. N will be 2. 2 years के लिए ये simple वाला formula है. Multiplied with 1 over 10 by 200. Now in the power 2 multiplied by that half year. Solve this. And remember, we will be solving the brackets first of all before you solve your exponents. Simplify your brackets. Alag-alag brackets solve karo. From the first bracket, you get 1 plus 1 by 10 squared. From the second bracket, you get 1 plus 1 by 20. In the power, this 2 gets cancelled with this 2. I hope you remember how we add a whole number and a fraction. 1 plus 1 by 10. This is 1 and 1 by 10. This will be 11 by 10. So this is 11 by 10 squared. 1 plus 1 by 20. This will be 1 and 1 by 20. Solving the mixed fraction. 21 by 20 raised to the power 1. Solve your answer. And see if you get the same amount as the previous question. Sorry, the other method. The first method. Sorry, this was a 2 here. So you get your answer in one single step. And if you look at the answer from first method, you get the same amount, 22,869 rupees. Found the compound interest. Once you have calculated your amount, the next step is to find out the compound interest. And in order to find out the compound interest, you have to subtract the amount and the principal. So 22869 minus 18000. And the difference of these two will tell you what is the compound interest. So whichever of the two methods you want to use, you can use to solve type 2. Either you can work for whole part of the time period separately, use the amount as the principal for the remaining fractional part of the time period and solve your answer, or you can use this combined formula. This is a combined formula where for the whole part we use the formula annually, and for the fractional part we use the formula for semi-annually amount. Anyone who's writing down?
Ma'am, please wait. Done, ma'am.
Now we will do type 3. C part will be your homework. Give it a try. Identify which type it is, whether it's type 1 or type 2, and try it yourself. Please do the calculations carefully. Take your time to multiply and divide, solve the exponents. D part, take a look. This is type 3, where you are given that the interest is compounded half yearly. You have principal 8,000 rupees. Time period is 1 year and the rate of interest is 9% per annum. Okay, I was mistaken. Actually, C part is type 3. C part is type 3. So once you have done part D with me, you can do part C on your own. Let's do part D. Principal, it's 8,000 rupees. Rate of interest, it's 9% per annum. Time period is 1 year. Interest is compounded half yearly. This is type 3. Find out the amount. Step number 1. Use the formula for half yearly compound interest. From your notes, from your definitions, identify what the formula was. In the denominator, now you will have 200, and in the power, instead of n, you will have 2n. Use the values. Principal is 8,000, 1 plus the rate of interest is 9 by 200 raised to the power 2 multiplied by the time period given to you is 1. Simplify. From your bracket, it will be 209 by 200 squared. Again, when you add a whole number to a fraction, write it as a mixed number, and then you can just solve this. You don't have to find out the LCM for this. So 8,000 multiplied by 209 by 200 multiplied by 209 by 200. 3 zeros will get cancelled here. Then I can also cancel 2. Again, simplifying. So I get 209 multiplied by 209 over 5. Simplify and obtain the amount. So this is what you will get. And since this is money value, I would give my answer up to 2 decimal places. And after this, the step number 2 is to find out the compound interest amount minus the principal. 8736.20 minus 8,000 rupees. Write it as a decimal number. Anyone who's writing down the answer for C part, D part? Anyone who's writing the answer for D part? This is the one I'm asking you to do on your own. I'll just help you write down the clues. This is type number 3. First step will be to find out the amount, and then you will find out the compound interest. The formula to find out the amount will be this one, where you have R by 200 and in the power you have 2n. So when you put your values, your expression will look like this. And now you can see जो time था आपका, जो fractions में था, it is no more in fractions. Solve it, obtain the amount, and then you will find out the compound interest. This will be your homework. And just like this part E, where the interest is compounded half yearly, solve your answer. Anyone who's noting down? Question number 2 is deleted. You can just cross this out. Question number 3. Fabina borrows 12,500 rupees at 12% per annum for 3 years at simple interest. Can you solve this part? What will be the interest that Fabina has to pay? This will be step number 1, interest paid by Fabina. You will be using the formula for simple interest. P multiplied by T multiplied by R multiplied by T over 100. You will obtain your answer. Then after this, they are saying Radha. For Radha, we will calculate the interest separately, but they are saying that for Radha, she has borrowed the same amount. So the principal is the same. Time period is also same. Rate of interest has changed. The interest is compounded annually. So for her, you will be using 2 steps. Step number 1, step number 2. Can you tell me which type this is? First, you will find out the amount, then you will find out the compound interest. Can you recall which type this is? The interest is compounded annually. We need to look at the time period. Time fractions में है कि whole number है? For Radha, the principal is 12,500, time period is 3 years, and the rate of interest is 10% per annum. Identify which type this is. If you still have confusion, I'll go over the types. Type number 1, interest is compounded annually, time is a whole number. Interest is compounded annually, time is a whole number. Second type, interest is compounded annually, time is in fractions. Time fractions mein hoga. Third is the one where the interest is compounded half yearly. उसमें हम time period को नहीं check करते, हमें सिर्फ we are just looking for the words where they say the interest is compounded half yearly. But when the interest is compounded annually, we will look at the time period, whether it's a whole number or it's a fraction. If it's a whole number, it's type 1. उसमें ज्यादा काम नहीं है. अगर आपका इंटरेस्ट कंपाउंडेड एनुअली है लेकिन टाइम पीरियड फ्रैक्शंस में है, दैट्स टाइप 2 वेयर you have two separate things to do. The one question that we did yesterday, the last question we did yesterday, and I discussed that in the beginning of today's class as well. And there is another method to do that. It's a shortcut kind of thing, but it simplifies your work way too much. So this one is type 1. The formula that you'll be using is this. And then you will find out the compound interest. Finally, you have to answer who pays more interest and by how much. I want you to solve this with me. Let's first of all solve for Fabina. Write down the principal rate and time. Since she will be paying simple interest, the formula will be this. The principal is 12,500. Rate of interest in case of Fabina is 12% per annum. The time period is 3 years. Tell me what the answer is. Anyone who has solved the answer for interest paid by Fabina?
4,500.
All right. For Radha, the principal is the same, the time period is same, the rate has changed. The rate of interest is different, but principal and time are same. Interest is compounded annually. Find out the amount, apply the formula, and simplify. And then we will find out the interest that Radha pays. Quickly calculate the amount that Radha will pay, and then we will find out the compound interest. Tell me what will be the answer for this. Multiply 25, 1331, divide by 2.
16,637.5.
Yes. And money है, again, I'm stressing on this. 0.5 है, हम एक zero extra लगाएंगे, 50 पैसे. So 16,637 rupees and 50 पैसे. 5 पैसे नहीं है, 50 पैसे हैं. Now find out the compound interest. The amount is 16637.50. From this, subtract the principal. 12500, writing it as a decimal number. Now look at the interest that Radha has to pay and the interest Fabina has to pay. Can you tell me who is paying more interest? Interest compare करना है. Who pays more interest? This is a simple comparison. Anyone can answer this.
Fabina.
That's right. And then you have to find out by how much. So you will find out the difference. 4,500 minus 4137.50. Anyone who's writing down? Have you all completed this question? Question number 3rd. Question numbers 4th to 8th are deleted. Question number 9th. Find the amount which Ram will get on 4,096 rupees if he gave it for 18 months at 12.5% per annum, interest compounded half yearly. Identify your principal, rate and time from this question. The principal is 4,096 rupees. The rate of interest is 12.5% per annum. This is yearly. And the time period is given as 18 months. Now looking at the rate, this is given to us yearly. The time is given to us in months, so we will have to convert. 1 year equals to 12 months. Convert 18 months into years. divide by 12. This will be 3 by 2 years. 1.5 years. This is very important. If you don't convert this, you use 18 and in the formula. आप time की जगह पे अगर 18 use कर लोगे, आपका आंसर गलत हो जाएगा. So be very careful about this and then solve your answer. This is compounded half yearly. This is type 3. Kindly write down. Just for you to remember, since the rate is given yearly, the time should also be in years. Interest is given to be compounded half yearly. Apply the formula for half yearly rate of compound interest. And then you will find out the CI. Actually, you don't require to find out the CI in this case. You only have been asked to find out the amount that Ram will get. Now you can see this is the time and this is the rate. Apply the values in the formula very carefully. बहुत carefully substitute करना. I'm going to work out the bracket first of all. In the exponent, I get 3. Obtain your answer. I'm leaving this for you. This will be your homework, finding the answer for this. Let me know if you've done. Anyone who's writing down. For the next 2 questions, there is a note you want to write down. I will be sharing it afterwards. You can just leave a few lines. You have to write down this note that the formula for compound interest can also be used to solve some other real life problems, the ones which are not related to banking. जो loans से money से related नहीं है और किसी real life situation से related है, we can also use the same formula in those situations to find out the answer. For example, if there is increase or decrease in population, we will be able to find out what will be the final population if we know what is the rate of increase or decrease. Growth of bacteria. This will be in the labs If we know that there is a bacteria which grows at a particular rate, during that experiment, what will happen? What will happen to the number of bacteria? The value of an item, if its price increases or decreases in the intermediate year. For example, जो हमारी durable goods होती हैं, especially vehicles, you buy those items, the moment they are out of the showroom, their value decreases, their value starts to decrease. And especially with usage, if you have used your car for a couple of years, its value will decrease. That's why you call it second hand. वो आपको reduced price पे मिलती है, कम price पे मिलती है. So maybe you buy a car for 14 lakhs and after a year you decide to sell it, its value will be decreased. So in order to find out the final value of that car, we can use the formula for compound interest. Now there are a few things you want to remember. जो भी starting value होगी उसको हम principal बोलेंगे, चाहे value increase हो रही है चाहे decrease हो रही है, कुछ भी हो रहा है, increase हो रहा है या decrease हो रहा है, starting वाली value को, initial value को हमने principal बोलना है. जो final value होगी वो amount होगा, और in between जो change आया, कितना increase हुआ, कितना decrease हुआ, that is called your compound interest. Only in case of depreciation, the plus sign in the formula changes to minus sign. So depreciation के case में हम ये formula use करेंगे. यहाँ बीच में माइनस आ जाएगा. डेप्रीसिएशन मींस जहां किसी ऑब्जेक्ट की वैल्यू कम हो रही है विद यूजेज और विद वेयर एंड टेयर. Question number 10th is deleted, which is actually based on the same real life problems, the ones we discussed. Question number 11th. Take a look. You can just mark this. Question number 10th is deleted. Question number 11th. In a lab, the count of bacteria in a certain experiment was increasing at the rate of 2.5% per hour. This is the rate of interest. Find the bacteria at the end of 2 hours. This is the time period. If the count initially was 5,06,000. So ये starting वाला number बताया bacteria का, this will be your principal. You want to find out the bacteria at the end of 2 hours. That means you want to find out the amount. Simple application of the formula. Principal, this is not money, this is number, so no units. Rate of increase is 2.5% per hour. Now the rate is given hourly, so the time period should also be in hours. So this is hours and hour, these are okay. We want to find out the final count of bacteria. This is the initial count of bacteria.